host tonight, Dinar Heathcote, and let us meet the panelists. Joining us today, we have Fenton Jerker, a member of the House of Lords and Regiment Commandant of the Scots Guards. We're also joined by Nankian, Chancellor of the Exchequer and a High Tory Member of Parliament. We're also joined by our Prime Minister, Nathulus, as well as Epic Noah, who is a clerk of the Great Council of Chiefs in Fiji, as well as Sean Rurak, who is a journalist of Channel 5. Just so everybody knows, you can message your questions to me at D9760, obviously the numbers being after the hashtag, or you can send in your messages at the Channel 5 Discord under the Question Times Questions channel. Well, who knew? Although, just to get our panelists started, here is the first question. Recently, the Ministry of Justice has been in the spotlight given recent issues regarding how crime will be dealt with and how the ministry will stay alive if in-game crime is happened. If crime and the justice system is handled in-game. For our panelists, what is the solution to this? Either one of you can go first.
I'll go. The government worked for 5 weeks on a plan, as many people know. Each plan led to people continued to be banned, and at the precise moment, with Westbridge being in the place it is, people cannot be banned from Westbridge for doing what the game makes. People are already getting bored, so why would we ban people for doing what the game has? The Serious Crime Command, SEC, are moving away anyway from in-game crime, so no cases will be going to the MOJ. So, and it will be more moving away, as the government proposed, for more cases as civil cases, pushing for more mock cases and stuff like that. So yes, it just needs to be stopped. In-game crime cannot be prosecuted in the MOJ.
Who would like to go next? Nankian, would you like to go next?
I pretty much agree. If you play Westbridge and you rob a bank, who the fuck cares about some fucking Roblox fucking lawyers prosecuting you? You know, who gives a fuck? Why should you be banned for robbing a bank? So, you know what I mean? Stop the MOJ's reign on in-game crime and tell them to piss off. Excuse my language.
You are forgiven. Epic Noah, would you like to go?
Silly I have nothing to say except I pretty much agree with what everyone says. Yeah.
And Sean Rurak, what is your thoughts on this?
I'm a journalist. I'm not a panelist.
Good point. You are. Moving on. Now, looking at the questions that I've received in the Question Time Questions channel, will we get custom paint jobs for private companies? Mr. Prime Minister, would you like to comment?
That is not up to anyone.
Very simple answer to that.
That it's not up to us. That's down to developers, and at the precise moment, I'm not sure what's happening.
Fine by me. I would just like to say to those watching the stream and watching Question Time, please come up with better questions. Please. We're begging. I'm kidding. Moving on, however, let's check the channel again. This phone screen is very small. Here's one right here. If the solution to maintain and grow the Ministry of Justice's activity is to introduce civil laws such as employment rights, won't this move the issue to the realm of the economy? Is this a battle the government would want, as they'd have to get business owners on board with extra regulations just to maintain the Ministry of Justice? I will let Nankian handle that, as it mentions the economy a bit.
Well, there is no economy, so I've got no idea why he's even speaking of such. And the MOJ employment rights already actually exist. There's already unions. There's just isn't any registered, so I don't think it would be a battle with business owners because, well, they already exist, so it's nothing new. And yeah.
Does anyone have anything to add on that at all? Oh, Nankian. Oh wait, no. Anyone at all? Any takers? Going once, going twice. I'll take that as a no. Right, moving on. Back to the channel. Here we go. Another question. That is not a question. That is I think I'm the one who would have to answer that. Kindle is long gone, Mr. Steve. It's long gone. Just to quickly clarify that. Moving on, here is another question right here. I think this is directed to the Prime Minister. If the Prime Minister wants to boost businesses and help them grow once registered, why have multiple businesses been deregistered today before their opening? Mr. Prime Minister, would you like to answer that?
Because developers and His Majesty's Treasury decided that these companies, and we've been told by developers that they won't be added to Westbridge due to different development issues and stuff like that. So there won't be any chance of them being added. So they're just sitting there, and there's no point having sitting companies which aren't really going to progress anywhere without development in game. Although some companies we are looking into having shops in like the athletic stadium we're building. So yeah, some of these companies will not be getting added to Westbridge, which makes them pointless. Although they are encouraged to go to the Commonwealth, where multiple different games are looking for in-game businesses, such as Caymans, Falklands, and loads of other countries.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else want to add on to that at all, or give their thoughts?
Yes, I do. Journalist
Go
of
ahead.
Channel 5. Thank you. Yeah, I just think I don't know actually why I need to give my opinion, but I just think up the Falklands. You know what I mean? Like Falklands. Is Samuel Weston still in the Falklands by any chance?
No. Bro,
What
I
happened
think
to him?
Samuel Weston's
He's
long
going
gone,
back.
man.
No, he
Oh.
hasn't. He's come back today. He joined the UK back. He's back.
Since when? This is
Today.
news to me. This is a breaking news story here on Question
Oh,
Time.
anyway, go to the next question.
To the next question. That one I've already read. Next one. Make sure to keep sending them in, and I would highly encourage our audience to send in questions that can sort of sprout debate. Come on, let's start making these people start mauling each other to death over random issues that probably have a very easy solution. Sheen. Jesus Christ, Sean Rurak has put it. Sport topic. Come on, let's get some sports up in here. Yes, so do keep sending.
What's the PM's plan? What's NAFLA's plan?
Prime Minister?
Oh well, I'm sure everybody knows the plan. So we have been looking into ECL, which is a football kind of style of Roblox. It's great. It's got technology. We were looking to start something ourselves, although when speaking to the Shadow Chancellor, he explained the tools issue and stuff like that in terms of development. Thanks, Sean, for the noises. As the OCMS, we are developing a running track which will have scripted systems. It'll be used for different events, competitions, Roblox competitions to get people involved and such. As this starts and if conversations with ECL do continue, we are going to expand and we want to get people into sports if they're participating or if they're just watching, supporting a team. It will be a great thing to introduce, and I hope that it comes sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm. Understandable. I would just like to quickly open the floor actually to a question that somebody has said in the question time.
I was going to add something onto the
chat.
sport thing, but yeah,
No.
sure.
No.
Hello.
Go ahead, you might.
Thanks. So basically on sport, I think, although it may sound like an attractive topic, but what I think we need to consider this is like, will everyone appreciate the fact that there's sports and will they get attracted into it? Because sometimes there could be development issues or something like that, and you could. I don't know what I can't find a word for what I'm about to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it
Any
later if
things?
I find it.
It's fine. Though, just to quickly open the floor to something that might perhaps get everybody talking is the United Nations. Specifically, issues regarding the United Nations and any controversy regarding it.
Never mind.
So, would anyone like to give their opinion on the United Nations at all? Just to kind of
Yep.
draw on Tim's question in the chat at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, whoever just said yes.
I said first, but yeah, go on.
On the Pat Key's new UN.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
There's a new UN. I just
Yes,
don't think we
United
should.
Nations.
I don't think we should join the United Nations. To be
United
honest,
Nations.
I think personally, I think we should just. What's the point of the United Nations? Like, I feel like it wastes everyone's time. I know Nathless does not want to be spending his Sunday nights going over to fucking. Sorry, excuse my language, ladies and gentlemen.
It's okay.
To a bunch of fannies sitting
Very
around
true.
talking about donations. Okay, I know he does not want to be doing that on his Sunday night. He would rather be at the Roblox House of Commons. That is what I know. But yeah, okay.
They both,
Mm.
they both
Can I
Mr.
got-
Prime Minister?
Okay.
well, at the precise moment, we've met with many United Nations and we've created some great connections with most of the Commonwealth coming over and a few still in other UNs or not part of anything. But I'm sure eventually, if it's now, a few months' time, that we will see loads of new people coming over to Sparky's UN. Sparky's
Mhm.
UN, we've joined, there's been no issues. Any issues which there have been dealt with. The Security Council, it's good. It's going well in terms of who's on it. We have, I believe it's, I'm gonna get this wrong. It's 5 or 6 Commonwealth nations, which is great to have. And sessions have been going well as well in terms of
Mhm.
voting and stuff like that. I believe this UN is the way forward in terms of foreign activity. The Commonwealth at the moment is very strong as well. So I'd love to keep moving
Mm.
forward with building relations with both UN nations and Commonwealth nations. And
I would just like to quickly intrude, mostly because I don't want to leave Fen in the dark. There is a good question here for him, I think. With the rising tension with violent nationalists in the Cayman Islands, will the Scots Guard be deploying more or taking more action in the area? Would you like to answer that, Fent?
Yeah, of course. The Scots Guards will always fight against any insurgents that are plaguing our Commonwealth. I'm more than happy to go and kill anyone that is threatening the sovereignty of our Commonwealth or the King.
Very lovely answer. And here's another question I think can go to all our panelists. What's your opinion on off-duty crime? Do you think every case is being handled seriously? Service people actually work hard to join a service and then to be dismissed for a genuine mistake, and written warnings are thrown out of the window and the offender gets no chance to talk about the case? It's a lot of different questions there. So I guess the overarching point here is, what's your opinion on off-duty crime? Who would like to go first on that?
I'll say.
Oh, cool.
I'll let the Chancellor go first.
Right. Who actually cares about off-duty crime? If you're a part-time police officer, part-time terrorist, why should anybody care? You know what I mean? So you shouldn't get that.
Here, I agree, Kian. Yes.
You know,
I think everyone should give him a round of applause. Well done.
you're killing the game. You know, we can't be killing the game, man. It's a joke.
it's
So, yeah,
down to
allow it.
I believe personally, without my personal opinion, it's down to the emergency service individually to
No,
decide what
it's not.
they wish to do in terms of how they deal with off-duty crime. It depends with each case and what happens. It's like I don't know the case specifically, but if this person did go with a gun and shoot everyone in the station which they work for, then that's down to the service
That's
to deal with.
funny.
We don't the government doesn't get involved in internal affairs in terms of recruitment or stuff like that, and so that would, I'm not gonna say what they should and shouldn't do, but it's down to the service.
All right. Any other opinions on off-duty
Can I
crime?
just say,
at all? Yep.
I think off-duty crime, I think it's, I wouldn't say it's very good. I would say it's a bit of both, because you're committing against the road laws, yes, but you're also giving activity to the police.
I don't know why everybody's laughing. I've got to be quite honest. Anyway, any other debate in regards to off-duty crime at all? No
I
more.
think I think
Oh.
just to interject, I can
Yep.
see the benefits behind allowing services to do off-duty crime.
Mhm.
I think it's probably better to leave it to each service. But the only thing I want to inject in there is, of course, there's a standard of professionalism that goes not only when you're actually on duty, but actually applies outside of duty as well. there's actually a professionalism act that dictates over that. For example, to see a police officer, and quite a prominent police officer in their role, go off duty and start shooting, and killing mass civilians. In a way, it's double standards, and in a way,
Oh,
Or
it,
shooting a
it is
police
double
officer.
standards, and in a way, what it does is that individual can be treated differently, and we do see that quite often, especially with admins that are on servers, where they're like very different off duty, and people will treat them differently. And I think there's a side of caution with everything. The other problem is as well is sometimes some in-game crime, and just to be quite frankly honest, on the extreme level, does go to levels where stuff like national security is in play, and just overall duty. I mean, when you think about it, for example, someone that's a part of the police force, or someone who's from RMP starting a riot, I mean, it's not professional behaviour, even if they are offline, because it can cause serious damage and implications to other services and the integrity and structure. So I think there's always a hint of caution with this sort of stuff.
Yes. Any other debate?
Oh,
regarding
come on,
that?
liven up, Phantom.
I fully agree with what Phantom
Christ.
says, honestly. I don't know why.
I agree with that.
live, laugh, love.
Don't know why
The
Sean
one
says
on
different, but
duty.
yeah, hey ho.
The
Yeah.
one on duty.
I would like to quickly move on, though, as we do have other questions, some very nice questions, the best questions. There is a question here in regards to the Electoral Commission. Somebody would like to know your opinions regarding the Electoral Commission and if their
Corrupt.
powers are being kept in check. Would anybody
Okay,
like to go
thank you.
first on that?
Yeah, I'll go first on that one. So,
ahead.
firstly, mind my language, frick the Electoral Commission. They should be defunded. All Electoral Commissioners are bastards. Thank you very much. I'm done.
Anybody else? Any opinions
Sorry, was
regarding
it
this?
a question
Not
about
my joke,
Ooh.
man.
Nine first, quick.
Dean, let me
Yes?
just tell this me to you. They're run by joke men. All right, listen, are jokes, and they
Okay,
don't follow
then.
their own rules. They change every 5 minutes. It's a joke. It's
Right.
genuinely a joke. And they got took to court, and then they got found guilty. They didn't have to change anything. Like, come on,
Mhm.
come on.
Any
They should be defunded. Corrupt Connor, he's behind it all. We need to sort it out.
any
Crooked Connor,
different
Crooked
opinions to
Connor.
that?
Yeah, all I want to say is free up independence.
Okay,
Crooked Connor strikes again. Why am I not surprised?
yeah. Any other opinions on the EC and how much you all hate them?
I hate them a
I
million.
like them. I think they are lovely people with kind hearts, and
You're
they should.
stupid.
We should all love them.
Stupid.
We should all love them. I feel very bad for them because we're all abusing them, and I feel like that's just
Simp.
so rude.
Okay.
I'm not even a simp.
Anyway, moving on from the Electoral Commission, how amazing they are and how they're paying me to say this.
More like shit, but yeah.
I would just like to quickly get your thoughts, or somebody here would like to get your thoughts on the new LAS cannot fucking. Apparently, the ambulance service are a boy band now. The LAS CEO Philip Deschart. I said that wrong, didn't I?
Since
Miss
Nah,
Phillips,
this
sir?
can go far.
Yes.
So when Alfie was temporary
I want to
CEO
answer.
in his temporary position, Philip was also in Gold Command, and they both worked so hard to get to the service where it is today. He's still working as CEO now, so hard. I've never seen the NAS Discord so active, NAS in game so active. We've had multiple events, the open day. The
No.
whole service has literally gone from. It's increased so much over the past few months, and it's so good to see NAS actually getting back to the standards it was before it started dropping. And I hope it continues under Philip and the rest of the service.
Any other opinions on
Yes,
Mr.
hello.
Tart?
Hello.
Go ahead. Yes.
Oh, this is a question that. Ooh, this is quite a question. To be honest with you, Annapolis basically telling the whole of ECL what Philip is doing, fighting around with the stadiums, isn't it? Anyway, what I think of him is, I genuinely hate him with a passion.
Oh dear.
And he is probably the only person on Roblox. Yeah, there's no one else on Roblox that I hate with a passion apart from him. That's all I have to say.
Damn.
Do you have any reason for that? Just a quick question.
I-
I was gonna ask, actually,
I
yeah.
think it'd be inappropriate for me to say.
Ooh.
Understandable. Any other opinions on the new CEO?
Get him in the VC right now.
You wish, Ian, you wish.
I don't think I want to approve of a brawl on the panel tonight.
True. You speak facts. You speak facts.
Anyway, moving on to another question. I'm going to go for another quick DM one real quick. So the question starts with this. This government has introduced meeting summaries and other things like it. Do you think these things will carry over to future governments? Mr. Prime Minister, do you think this?
I bloody well hope so. We have gone to increasing transparency across the whole government. Every foreign meeting has a foreign summary. We release summaries for other meetings, such as when it does, or when the Home Office goes to an event. We got the gov.uk Trello board, which has every meeting or statement which has been released throughout government. Any bulletin stuff, anything that you need to know is on this Trello board, and I hope transparency like this continues. I think it sets precedent of what does need to happen. People just don't want to know, and more things are discussed. People want to know what are discussed if they do have interest. Of course, not everyone has interest in what was discussed in a foreign meeting, but it's there for the people who do have interest and want to know what was done, what was discussed, and what's the plan moving forward.
Any other opinions on that? On meeting summaries at all? I'll take that as a no. I think that's a very boring subject. Whoever asked that question, you should be ashamed of that. Boring subjects. We need fun subjects. We stand for fun here. Moving on. Gonna quickly get a question from the question time questions chat this time. Let's start with what are your thoughts on the recent anti-Mr. Witch riot with around 30 in attendance in the Cayman Islands? I could already see where this question's going. Anybody would like to take that question?
Mr. Witch is a joke. All right. How's he even in the Cayman Islands? He gets removed from the. Well, he doesn't get removed. He gets sacked from the UK because he doesn't get re-elected. He goes to the Cayman Islands, and look at him now. The rioters. I support him.
There's someone called
Can I just say,
Benjamin Dover or Ben Dover or something like that. I'm pretty sure he's leading all this stuff.
Yes.
I support him.
I know somebody wanted to quickly talk. Epic
Yeah,
Noah,
me.
what was it you were going to say?
I'd say if Mr. Witch riots, yeah, I'd say like, I mean, it's their whoever's protesting is like it's their personal opinion, but I think Mr. Witch he's good nonetheless. He can be a bit stupid sometimes, but overall, I think he just wants the best for the nation he works in. Even if people disagree with him, I think he still wants to work for the best interest of the Cayman Islands. And what I don't understand is why do they not appreciate his efforts overall?
I see where you're coming from. Though, just to quickly move on.
N-word, Your Honor. Can I use the N-word, Your Honor?
Sadly, I don't want to get Channel 4 taken to court. So, I mean, I already did
Joe,
that.
hold up. What did you just say? Did you just say Channel 4?
Channel 5. Channel 5. I meant Channel 5.
You fucked up big time.
Okay, well, before I get sacked from question time, we might as well continue with the questions. And the next question is, what happens to the Hansard Journal? It died after 2 volumes, many exclamation marks. Mr. Prime Minister, do you have an answer?
It's grateful.
Speaker was spearheading this, so I will have a chat with him and see what's happened to it, and hopefully, commerce transparency can continue.
The speaker's a joke.
Very controversial opinions coming out tonight.
No, it's not controversial. The speaker is a joke. He doesn't listen to anyone. He gets all the emotions wrong. I think he should be vonked right now, and that's being serious.
Okay.
It's Doug Shaw.
He's not that bad anyway.
He is.
He isn't.
Yeah,
You know what? I agree with
Turkey's
Kian.
not that bad. Could be worse.
I would much prefer Sean Ruark as speaker, and I think he should be brought in.
Here,
especially.
here.
I
Yeah.
guess we can explore that next term, perhaps. Who knows? Anything's possible. I mean, Dennis Monte was
Fuck
foreign
that, man.
secretary at one point. Anyway, here's another question from another member. China is being cooed by Dang Ling Wang.
What's funny? Why are you laughing at his name?
Yeah, why are you laughing at Dang Ling Wang? This is
Oh, fucking kill you. Okay, anyway.
Oh.
Oh jeez. Okay. I would just like to quickly say, I don't know, as the host, I'm not really meant to give an opinion, but I hope Dang Ling Wang gets killed by Xi Jinping for revisionism, honestly. Moving on. Actually,
Everyone's
whoever
so
said that-
confused.
whoever said that, you're dead. Oh wait, I'm not allowed to threaten on air. Okay, let's actually get on with this now. Moving on, I'm going to read a question from the chat now. Do you? No, that one's pretty obvious.
epic.
A lot of these are memes now. God, send in real questions, ladies and gentlemen. Although, actually, I do have a question in DM.
Well, we have Philip D chart here.
Oh, do we?
Yes, that's not.
Yeah.
Although I am also
Okay.
playing football at the moment, so
Oh, okay. Who
Man
was
of
the
all
one
cultures.
arguing with him earlier? Who wants to? Who was arguing with him earlier? I don't remember.
Naflis was arguing with him. Naflis was arguing.
I wasn't arguing with that you, Sean.
Dixon
1
Butts
second.
was arguing with him. I'm pretty sure Dixon Butts.
Oh
Who's
no!
that?
You are not doing that to me again. Right, let's actually move on to a proper question now before I get fired for being completely incompetent. Here's one I just looked up in the chat. What are the plans for the upcoming election? DM advertising or in-game advertising or any other recruitment methods and expectations? Okay, Mr. Prime Minister, anything new you're going to be introducing in the next election?
I don't think there's much more you can do. I think you can do the rallies, which the Lib Dems did. I think you can DM advertise, you can do in game. There's not much more you can do. You just got to reach your audience. You've got to reach the
Hello.
people. You've got to express your policy. You've got to connect with them, and that's how you do it. I don't think there's anything new or anything at the precise moment which you can do. I don't think in-game advertising scheme is for political elections, and I don't want to take it to that. And I think it
Can you
should
guys hear me?
just continue. Yes, Epic. No, we can.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi went out, so apologies.
It's fine. Do you have an opinion on the next election or anything that might happen
Yes,
in the
I
next
do.
election? Go ahead.
So, I disagree with Naflis. I think personally, Channel 5, yeah, okay, I'm a journalist for Channel 5, but we're for the people. And personally, I think we should just not have no campaigning whatsoever apart from the campaigning channel, and you just post once a day, just once a day, not even twice a day. It's a joke how
It's every
much
6
people
hours.
campaign. It wastes most of your day. You don't get anything from it, to be honest. So you could just post once a day in the campaigning channel and bish bang wallop. You probably get a bunch of votes. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, we all know that the biggest party is always like Tories or something, because everyone votes for what they think is the best in their life. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyway, and also just want to
don't
say,
think
I
so.
think there's. I heard a politician in the House of the Commons stood up for this. Okay, and he's an independent candidate, if I'm correct. He's Wilma Dickfit. Wilma
Oh my
_Dickfit.
God.
He's also a big Channel 5's fan, and that's all he watches all day. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think he's for the people. For the people.
Okay. Moving on to another question I've just seen here, and it's another one for our panelists. Are there any plans for other media channels, such as Channel 5, to be opened or supported by the government? Mr. Prime Minister or Mr. Chancellor, would you like to give your comment on that?
I feel like this is turning into Prime Minister's questions, but
Kind
with
of
the
is.
public.
People's Prime Minister's question, version 2.
You can. We encourage media companies, well, I personally do, such as Channel 5, I think these shows get interesting. I know LBC have been doing pub conversations.
Here,
And these
here.
even though some people maybe don't like watching them, I think the people who do, they enjoy watching shows like this. I personally like coming on them. It's great to speak to people and answer questions. So yes, I do encourage
Hey,
companies to start.
Nathless.
Yeah.
Are you not able to talk to anyone in real life? Is that why you come?
sure.
Okay.
I'm joking. Sorry, that was mean. That was actually mean.
This is
Blimey.
the only people I
Um,
speak to. Don't have much friends.
I do actually have a question of my own for our panelists tonight. Just to quickly throw it in on the topic of media companies, I've noticed in recent days there's been a big controversy regarding media companies, especially regarding whether MPs should work with them, within these companies, or whether MPs should own media companies. I would just like to gather the opinions of our panelists. What do they think about sort of politicians and political figures getting involved in media companies? Either one of you can go first.
There's been a policy set by the Treasury which politicians or anyone politically affiliated cannot register a media company, and group staff
You joking?
in the UK
You're mad,
Discord
fam.
about Newsfeed, which will come into place on the 12th.
That's
I'm not
a
gonna give my
joke.
personal opinion
What a
on
joke.
certain things because,
Less of that, please.
but yes,
Comical.
I think the rules in place at the moment might work. We will see the outcome.
That's a joke. I can't lie.
I
That's
think
a
that's an
joke.
issue though, mate. Like, we're gone of when 2 or 3 years ago. I was going to say this earlier, but I didn't really get a chance. Where you're on about
I
campaigning.
apologise.
2, 3 years ago, we used to always campaign in game. We used to always have the rosette. We'd always pay 2, 3 Robux, whatever it cost for that rosette, and we'd represent.
good old
the
days.
What
side.
are you chatting, man?
Those days were
What are you
great
chatting?
because you actually felt involved. You felt like you were chosen with a purpose. Nowadays, it's just a case of DM everyone and anyone. Doesn't care what you think. You just
Philip,
DM them with
what
your
are you
policy
chatting?
list and send them a Discord
are you
server. And they're
chatting?
probably going to join. That's how most elections have gone. That's why
He's
most
on about
elections have been
media.
a
What are you
landslide.
chatting, man?
Yeah,
What are you chatting?
stop being
No, I haven't
irrelevant.
finished. I haven't finished.
Oh
Media,
my
that all
Let you
days,
works
speak.
man.
into it. With all the politicians in the media nowadays,
Absolute comedy.
most newspapers are just going to end up being political. They're going to end up with a bias. I know that's also a case in real life where you've obviously got your left and right wing newspapers, but they're not necessarily directly involved with politicians.
No, it's not that deep,
It's
is
a
it?
case where we saw the Independent, for example, they've rebranded to Servation again, Sangris's paper, because of what Gustav was doing. He ruined the reputation of that paper because he was
True.
using it as a slander paper. I mean,
Mhm.
it's one of those where nowadays we're gone of the past where banks and that lot would run their media companies to show the news. We're now at a case where sometimes you get the news, most of the time you've got newspapers delivering political stuff and their political views.
Yeah, but that's newspapers. That's not BBC, is it? So like, there's a difference between newspapers.
The Independent never
and-
necessarily ran as a newspaper though. It's more of a Twitter
But-
page. But you look on
Yeah,
there,
but-
it's just photos from the Parliament
but
chat saying this and that.
No one. Realistically, no one in the UK is gonna like literally give you paper copies of a newspaper. So like, what else? You just use Twitter, innit? So
You-
I
about
print
a
all
year
the
or so ago,
newspapers off.
people
I
used to
print-
write the newspapers and post them weekly. They would be on Google PDFs.
I
Yeah,
print-
yeah,
I
but
print the House newspaper
take it
every
with a
week.
pinch of salt.
Mm,
I print the House newspaper every week from Mason.
And I highly encourage that kind of behaviour personally. I love the House paper that gets published. Although we do have another question. Sorry to rush you, gentlemen. And this one is regarding independence in elections. This person would like to know your thoughts on independence, and if everyone on the panel encourages people to run as an independent, if they were obviously allowed, that is, which they're not this election, very sadly. Would anyone like to give their opinion on that?
I love
Yeah,
independence, man. Independence, great. I would have loved
I
to
mean,
serve.
why aren't independents allowed to run?
That would be my fault.
I mean, it's a
Facebook
joke.
Nation's had a lot of supporters, but that's the issue because independents, they just split the vote, and that's why we've always had it so independent seat like excess. So of course you got your vote for a seat, and then anything after that usually went to a party. I don't know if it changed. I remember back
It
in my
did.
day, I
Now
wanted to
it's
become an
now
independent
once you
MP,
get your
and I
5%.
gave
Gavin
my
De Gea.
I gave my votes to the Tories after that. I don't know if it changed, so it wipes it off now, but it's a case where Nathless, you kind of ruined it by dominating an election, mate.
Wow.
I can't help that I had support.
You
Well,
mean you
good
DM'd
campaign.
everyone?
I didn't. I had a good campaign.
I mean, you did.
You did.
Nathless didn't get off his computer during December.
Nothing better to
Right. Does anyone
Mr.
else have
King,
anything to
love
say
you.
on independence? Like any opinions regarding independence at all? Anything else? Going once, going twice.
Fuck 'em.
Nah, man. Whoa.
Blimey.
Also, I'd like to give a shout out to Zorby. He's currently listening at home. He's an avid supporter of the show. So I'd like to give a shout out to Zorby.
Yeah. So, if you didn't
Hi,
know,
Zorby.
is now a Cayman's developer. So if you
Hi, Zorby.
How's he? Cable's developer. The fuck's he developing?
congratulate Zorby on his
Ugh.
absolute win as a Cayman's developer. I think his next big plan is to become a UK developer.
We do have another question from a very respectable member of the audience, and this is in regards to an English Parliament. Do you all support an English Parliament, and do you like the English Democrats? What are your thoughts on them?
I'm actually a member and a big supporter. I know. I think we need it right now. England needs to come first for once.
Mr. Prime Minister, do you
don't know why
support
you're
English
laughing.
Parliament?
Well, I'm not sure to be honest. Kids in it, you know, it might be a bit crazy. And
What is an English Parliament? Are you what?
A Parliament of Englishmen, I believe.
Oh, so you have to be English to be in.
A Parliament for the English nation, aka the best nation of the United Kingdom.
Oh, nah, man.
Hello,
That's
United.
just gay. That's just gay,
Oh
man.
lord.
No, not gay. Sorry, that's the wrong word to use. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Blimey.
God, Sean.
That
Oh,
is
God, it's over.
that
You're
is
getting
that is
cancelled
that is
now. You're
stupid.
getting
Sorry.
cancelled now.
Shit, man, I'm dipping. Okay, enjoy. Thank you for having me, Dean.
Oh, my days.
You don't have to. He's walked off the stage. He's gone. Oh no. Well, I guess we move on to the next question now. At least we're gonna go through as many questions as possible
I'm
before.
gonna eat soon.
I guess we'll go up for one last question. For our panelists before we end, and I'll take it straight from the Question Time Questions channel. Let's
I mean, we
see.
got a meeting.
I apologize. I'll get through this as quickly as I possibly can. I'm going to try to find a question from there that we'll end off on. First, I would have ended off on the English Parliament question, but oh well. I need to find a question. You know what? I'll go with this one. Should planes be allowed for private companies in the Commonwealth? There we go. Nice, simple question to end off on. Gentlemen, what are your opinions?
Repeat that, please.
Should planes be allowed for private companies in the Commonwealth?
Planes?
Yes.
What?
Are you taking the mic?
Planes.
What?
Yeah, planes, apparently.
What's that got to do
Plane.
with?
What?
I mean, sure, why not?
Well,
I must say, it would be very nice to see planes soaring over the skies of Westbridge. And
Agreed.
I don't think the game will be able to handle that.
True. And
Yeah,
also,
because like too much buildings and cars and stuff. It gets too complicated. If you know what I mean.
Yes. I believe that's all the questions for today that I can accept speaking about. I will just quickly say, if you do have other questions, we do also have LBC, Leading Britain's Conversations, which is what I host. I host Dean's Pub Conversations. Has my name on it. Make sure to tune in on Mondays and Thursdays to that. It's around 8 to 9 p.m. In the evening. Make sure to watch that. We do get guests pretty much at last minute, so it's basically a mystery guest every day. But it's a good show. I would say it's a fine and dandy show with very good staff and also my very annoying voice. So if you can handle my voice for about 30 minutes, I would highly recommend watching a bit of LBC on Mondays and Thursdays. But until then, that's the end of question time. Thank you to our panelists for being here. It's been wonderful talking. I would like to also thank Channel 5 staff. I'm not going to say Channel 4 this time. Channel 5 staff. And I would also like to thank our lovely audience for sending in their questions. This has been Question Time with your host, yours truly, Dean R. Heathcote, aka myself. I wish you a good night, and I bid you all farewell.
Cheers, G.